I've been thinking a lot about how most people have no idea like what intuition is, what that means when someone says that. They say things like trust your gut, and they have no idea what they don't have the faintest idea what they're even saying. They don't know what they're saying. And so I've just been thinking about it a lot for years, frankly. I'm a big intuition head. I've been thinking about it for a long time. So we're just gonna yap a little bit about intuition, about what it is, because people don't even know what it is, let alone how to listen to it. How what does that mean? Trust your gut. What does that mean? So, first of all, you're trying to define what it is. I think there's a few different meanings, right? I mean, most basically, you'd say it's something like subconscious pattern recognition, where your brain, your senses are taking in all these things, all these different stimuli that you aren't consciously processing, but your brain is remembering patterns from those things and you're putting together an idea, a picture. And so, from all this stimuli subconsciously that you're getting through your senses, you're getting things from it. You're coming up with conclusions from those stimuli, right? And so that would be like a pretty basic definition of intuition, right? But that's not it alone. That's not it alone. Okay. This is why this they say trust your gut. What does that mean? Why are we saying trust our gut? Why our gut? Why is intuition referred to as your gut? Well, it's because you have a lot of bugs in your tummy. You have little tummy bugs, okay? It's the gut microbiome. We're not going to go into it. We don't have time all day. But you have bugs in your belly, okay? And they're very good. And some people have bad ones, right? They're parasites. You don't want those. But focus on the good ones. They help your brain process information. They help you as a person function. Okay, so there's all these good bacteria in your stomach, and deep in your stomach, whatever billions of bacteria. There's a nerve from your brain to your stomach called the vagus nerve. 90% of the information that goes to your brain transfers through your belly. They're these bugs. They have to do with hormone secretion and mood swings and all this stuff. So these bugs in your belly are basically like helping you process information that you're getting through your senses. And so that's where this trust your gut comes from. That's why when you have like these terrible things happen, you can get a gut ache when you have this sinking feel in your gut. It's because there's something going on there. It's because you have a gut microbiome and there's things happening. And so that plays a huge role in intuition as well, right? So we have that. With the gut biome, we have the subconscious pattern recognition. We also have like DNA. We also have genetic memory. And so this is like as simple as instincts in animals, right? So MIT did studies on this with chickens, where they raised chickens inside of a warehouse basically for generations and generations. So these birds eventually, generations down the line, they've no idea what the outside world looks like. This is the world, this box, okay? Then they get things, they fly shapes over them. They fly like a square shape over them. And the chickens don't care. They fly a triangle, chickens don't care. Then they fly something that looks like an eagle over them or a hawk, and they freak out and they start going crazy and they run and hide because that genetic memory is in them. All right. So that would be the third piece of intuition, in my opinion, is this memory that you just have from ancestors, essentially. And that's what that is. So that's intuition, right? We got intuition. Okay. Now, what are people talking about when they're like, listen to your intuition, follow your intuition? Most people can't do that. They've never done, they don't know what that even means. People think like thinking about something is following your intuition. It couldn't be further from the truth. Thinking about something is thinking about something. Following your intuition is a different thing. Okay. It takes a lot of practice, in my opinion. I have been working at trusting my intuition for years now, like many years now. So how do you get better at it? First of all, I think you need to have your gut biome a little bit healthy. You can't be completely wrecked inside and expect to like have a good intuition. I just think that's not going to work. So you have to have your gut biome reasonably healthy. Like I said, we don't have time to get into it. You can research that, figure it all out. We can get into that some other time. But get healthy first of all, okay? But then to listen to your intuition. What does that feel like? And that's the thing. It's more of a feeling than a thought, because if you, let's say you're trying to make a decision about something and you want to be guided by your intuition, it would happen like that. Like that. Like it's not something that you're going to mull over and think about, Because when you start thinking about and processing data and thinking about pros and cons and this and that, it's like, okay, well, that's a fine path to go, but it's not intuition. That's just thinking. That's just thinking about something. That's what that is. So if you want to go intuition, what it is you have to kind of know your body, you have to feel your body, and you have to just these conclusions that you'll come to, these thoughts that you'll come to, they happen instantly, and there isn't a thought process that you can trace back. That's a good way to test what it is, if it's intuition or not, because you won't be able to tell someone why you think that's a bad idea, right? You go into a place and you have a bad feeling about it, right? And you just think it's going to be dangerous. I just want to get out of here. Someone says, why? What's wrong? And I don't know. I don't know. I just have a bad feeling. That's intuition. And people have that and they've been taught not to trust it. And it's really sick. So they need to start trusting it. People need to unlearn what they've learned and learn that you need to trust that stuff more than anything else, more than like, well, technically there's nothing wrong with this place, so it should be fine. No, you need to trust your intuition first because you are being guided by, you know, thousands of stimuli that you can't process. You're being guided by your DNA, memory, what's in you. You're guided by sense that you can't even pick up, smells and taste in the air that you aren't processing. Like these things are guiding your decision making process. And people need to turn their brain off and start listening to their body, start listening to their gut if they actually want to like listen to their intuition. And it's not going to happen overnight. Like people think, oh, I'll just start trusting my intuition. It's going to take time to feel what that feels like. And it's hard for me to describe. I don't have all the words for it that I need, but it takes time. You can do it. And I would just encourage everyone to start trusting their gut, start trying to just listen to your intuition. Like try to like just not think about something and just see how you feel about it immediately. Like see what your gut reaction is, your first impression is. That's why first impressions actually are pretty I would trust them. Let's just say that I would trust your I would trust your first impressions, okay? Because a lot of that's intuition. And so people just need to start working on that more. And if you're interested, just little by little, just try to pay attention, try to start trusting it. You'll see that it's right more often than it's wrong. Pretty soon, you can start putting more and more decisions on that intuition. You're going to get better at having that conclusion just at the forefront of your perception of your brain without having to think about something. And so that's where you want to be, is where you don't need to be thinking everything through. You can be guided by this other force inside of you, this other way of coming to information besides just like your thought process and with data that you've thought about before. And so there's other ways to come to information. People don't realize that, but there's other ways to get information, to come to conclusions. It's not just Google. I'm going to go to imright.com and Google this. I'm going to look up this study and see if the study tells me this, well, then I will it's like that's one way to come to information and it's valuable at times. But I think there's another way to come to information that people just are neglecting. And that would be trusting your gut, your intuition. And there's really no shortcut to it. You just need to practice at it and work at it until you start to get it. That's all.